You know the feeling. You feel it in your gut. You feel it the moment you walk through the door. The energy has shifted. The air is heavy. The greeting is cold. You look into her eyes and the warmth is gone. You are looking at someone you love, but she is looking at a stranger. You try to brush it off. You tell yourself she is just tired. You tell yourself it is just a phase, but deep down you know the truth. It is not stress. It is not her job. It is you. Or rather, it is how she sees you. You are not crazy. You're not overthinking this. Your intuition is screaming at you because your intuition is right. Men have a sixth sense for disrespect. We feel it when the ground beneath us starts to crumble. We feel it when the woman who used to look at us with admiration now looks at us with indifference. You ask her what is wrong. She says nothing. You ask if she's okay. She sighs and rolls her eyes. You try to pull her close and her body goes stiff. She creates physical distance. She creates emotional distance. You are sleeping in the same bed, but you are miles apart. You notice the silence. It is not a comfortable silence. It is a heavy, punishing cadence. It is the silence of a woman who has already checked out. You try to fix it. You try to be nicer. You do more chores. You buy her gifts. But nothing works. The harder you try, the further she pulls away. You feel like you are walking on eggshells in your own home. Stop. Take a breath. Do not gaslight yourself. Do not let anyone convince you that this is normal. It is not normal. It is the beginning of the end. Hear me clearly. You are not going insane. You are picking up on a fundamental shift in her psychology. You are witnessing the evaporation of respect. And when a woman loses her respect, the love goes with it. The love packs its bags. The love leaves the building. This is a bitter pill to swallow. But you must face reality. You cannot rebuild a house on a rotten foundation. Right now, you are standing in the wreckage. You are hurt, you're confused, you're exhausted. I understand, millions of men have been there. It is a dark place, but you will not stay here. You will not beg, you will not plead, you will not negotiate your worth. You're a man. You have a spine, Sean. And today we are going to strengthen that spine. We are going to look truth in the face. We are going to understand exactly why this ending is actually your new beginning. Here is the biggest lie society has ever sold you. You have been told that love conquers all. You have been told that if you just love her enough, if you just show her your heart, everything will be fine. You have been conditioned to believe that love is the ultimate foundation of a relationship. It is not. It never was. Respect is the foundation. Respect is the bedrock. Respect is the solid ground from which true love grows. You cannot negotiate desire. You cannot maintain love in a vacuum of respect. Look at your current situation. You are desperately trying to find the love that has vanished. You are searching for the warmth that has gone cold. You are losing sleep asking yourself why she does not love you the way she used to. You are asking the completely wrong question. The question is not where did the love go? The question is exactly when did the respect die? Because female psychology operates on a very strict, uncompromising hierarchy. A woman can love a man she respects. A woman can be angry at a man she respects. But a woman can never ever love a man she pities. She can never love a man she looks down upon. She can never deeply love a man she feels she can control, manipulate, or easily walk all over. When respect leaves the room, love packs its bags. It follows immediately. You are trying to fix the roof while the foundation is entirely crumbling beneath your feet. You are trying to pour water on a dead plant. You are bringing flowers to a relationship funeral and expecting the corpse to wake up. This is brutal. This is painful. But this is the absolute truth. You are not the guy who begs for leftover scraps of affection. You are the man who requires basic human dignity. You are not the guy who compromises his core boundaries just to keep a fake peace in the house. You are the man who enforces his boundaries even if it means walking away alone. Do not confuse her tolerance for love. She might stay with you out of pure convenience. She might stay with you because the routine is comfortable. She might stay with you because you provide safety and pay the bills. But do not kid yourself, that is not love. That is utility. She is using your utility, and ironically, she resents you for letting her do it. Women despise the men they can easily break. They feel repulsed by the men who bend to their every whim and mood swing. They want an immovable mountain. They do not want a doormat. They want a grounded force of nature. They do not want a walking apology. You must shift your perspective right now. Stop looking for hidden signs of her love. Start looking at the glaring, obvious absence of her respect. Once you realize that respect is the true currency of attraction, everything changes. The entire game changes. Your mindset changes. You stop trying to blindly win her heart. You start requiring the respect you rightfully deserve as a grounded man. And if she cannot give it to you, you must take your energy elsewhere. Because a relationship without respect is not a partnership, it is a slow, quiet hostage situation. To understand why it is already over, you must understand how a woman's mind is genuinely wired. You must look past modern society. You must look past the romantic comedies. You must look at biology. You must look at evolution. Millions of years of evolution do not just disappear because we have smartphones and comfortable couches. The female brain is an ancient, highly tuned piece of hardware. It is designed for survival. In the ancestral environment, a woman's survival depended entirely on the strength, competence, and resilience of her man. If a man could not stand up to his peers, he could not protect her. If a man could easily be pushed around by his own woman, he would easily be crushed by a rival tribe. The biological calculus was incredibly simple. Weakness meant danger. Weakness meant death. Today, the physical dangers are mostly gone, but that ancient hardware is still running in the background of her mind. It is constantly scanning. It is constantly testing. It is constantly asking one fundamental question. Is this man strong enough to lead? Is this man strong enough to protect? Is this man a rock, or is he made of sand? When she tests your boundaries, she is not consciously trying to ruin your day. She is running a biological software check. She wants to see if you will break. She is secretly hoping you will not. But what happens when you do break? What happens when you cave in just to keep the peace? Her biology registers a massive red flag. Her subconscious alarm bells start ringing. She realizes she has more emotional power than you. And the moment a woman realizes she is stronger than her man, her attraction dies on the spot. She cannot be attracted to a man she can easily control. It goes completely against her deepest evolutionary programming. An unsafe woman cannot relax. An unsafe woman cannot be feminine. An unsafe woman cannot feel desire. When you let her walk all over you, you force her into a masculine role. You force her to take the steering wheel, and she resents you deeply for making her do it. Now let me make a crucial distinction. Listen to me very carefully. I'm not talking about fear. You do not want a woman to fear you. Fear is the tool of a weak man. Fear is the weapon of an insecure boy who needs to yell and dominate just to feel big. You are not that guy. You do not terrorize your household. You are the man who commands respect through quiet strength. You are the man who earns admiration, not compliance. You lead by example. You lead by emotional control. There is a massive difference between a tyrant and a king. A tyrant forces people to bow. A king stands so tall that people naturally look up to him. You must be the king of your own reality. When you started this relationship, you probably had that king energy. You had your own life, you had your mission, you had your boundaries. She respected that, she was drawn to that. But slowly you compromised. You thought being the nice guy was the right strategy. You thought giving her everything she demanded would make her love you more. You stopped seeing your friends, you dropped your hobbies, you swallowed your opinions just to avoid an argument. You thought you were being a good partner. She saw a man losing his spine. You thought you were showing devotion. She saw a man abandoning his self-respect. Women do not want a yes man. They do not want a servant. They want a partner who can stand toe-to-toe with them. They want a man who can say no. They want a man who is not afraid to walk away if his boundaries are crossed. You're not the guy who begs for permission to live his life. You're the man who moves with purpose. You're not the guy who twists himself into a pretzel to avoid conflict. You are the man who stands his ground in the storm. You are not the guy who trades his dignity for a quiet evening. You are the man who values his self-respect above all else. When you lose that self-respect, she loses her respect for you. It is a mirror. She will only treat you as well as you treat yourself. If you do not value your own boundaries, why should she? If you do not enforce your own standards, why would she honor them? She cannot love a man she pities. She cannot look up to a man who is constantly looking down at his own feet. The psychology is absolute. Respect is the absolute prerequisite for attraction. Without it, you are just a roommate she occasionally tolerates. You are just a utility provider she has lost the ability to admire. Let us talk about the first sign. It lives in the shadows. It lives in the micro-expressions. It is the contempt in the small things. You do not see explosive arguments. You see the subtle poison of disgust. You see the eye roll when you speak. You hear the heavy sigh when you enter the room. You catch the cold smirk when you make a simple mistake. You hear the sarcastic biting tone when you share an idea. This is not playful teasing. Playful teasing has warmth. Playful teasing has love. This behavior has venom. This has a razor edge designed specifically to cut you down to size. You try to brush it off. You tell yourself she is just having a bad day. You tell yourself she is just stressed at her job. But a bad day does not create contempt. Contempt is a deep, dark, brewing resentment that finally leaks to the surface. It is the physical manifestation of lost respect. When a woman looks at you with contempt, she is looking at a man she feels is fundamentally beneath her. She is looking at a man she no longer admires. You are not the guy who accepts a disrespectful tone in his own home. You are the man who demands basic human decency. You are not the guy who pretends an eye roll is just a harmless joke. You are the man who calls out bad behavior calmly and firmly. You do not yell, you do not scream, you simply state that this is unacceptable, but right now you are staying silent. You are letting the disrespect slide, and every single time you let it slide, her contempt grows stronger. She loses another fraction of respect for you because you do not even respect yourself enough to stop it. She tests the water with a sarcastic comment. You do nothing. She escalates to an eye roll. You do nothing. She graduates to outright mockery. You still do nothing. You're training her to treat you like a joke. You must stop this cycle immediately. You must recognize contempt for what it truly is. It is the ultimate relationship killer. It is the undeniable proof that her respect for you is dead. Let us move to the second sign. She constantly tests your boundaries and you constantly yield. You know this exact dynamic. You set a rule, you draw a firm line in the sand, you say you will not tolerate a certain behavior. And what does she do? She steps right over that line. She pushes that boundary aggressively. She wants to see what you will do. She wants to see if your words have any actual weight behind them. And what do? You retreat. You cave in. You make an excuse for her bad behavior. You decide it is not worth the headache of a fight. You decide to just let it go this one time to keep the fragile peace in the house. But it is never just this one time. It is a predictable pattern. It is a biological test and you are failing it every single day. You say you want to save your money, but she demands an expensive vacation and you hand over your credit card. You say you need time to decompress with your friends, but she throws a massive tantrum and you quickly cancel your plans. You say you will not accept being yelled at, but she raises her voice and you just lower your head in defeat. You are not the guy who folds under pressure. You are the man who stands firm in his convictions. You're not the guy who compromises his core values to appease a momentary mood swing. You are the man who acts as an immovable object in the storm. When you yield your boundaries, you yield your masculinity. You show her that you're easily manipulated. You show her that your frame is weak and fragile. And a woman simply cannot respect a weak frame. She needs a man who can hold the line. She needs a man who says no and absolutely means no. Every time you surrender a boundary, you hand over a massive piece of your self-respect. And when your self-respect is gone, her respect for you vanishes into thin air. You become a pushover. You become a doormat. And nobody respects a doormat. They just wipe their dirty feet on it and walk away. The third sign is the silent killer. It is the emotional withdrawal and physical distance. You are living with a ghost. You are sharing a house with a roommate. The burning passion is completely gone. The spontaneous affection is extinct. The lingering touches are a distant, painful memory. You sit on the couch together, but there is a massive invisible wall between you. You try to hold her hand and she instinctively pulls away. You try to initiate intimacy and she always has a convenient excuse. She is too tired. She has a headache. She has to wake up early for a meeting. The excuses constantly change, but the cold rejection remains perfectly constant. You feel like a beggar in your own bedroom. You feel starved for basic human physical connection. But it is not just the physical distance that hurts. It is the massive emotional void. She stops asking about your day. She stops sharing her inner thoughts. She stops bringing her problems to you for advice. She no longer looks to you for comfort or leadership. She has completely walled you off. You are not the guy who begs for a tiny crumb of intimacy. You are the man who knows his absolute value. You are not the guy who stays in a cold dead bed hoping for a magical miracle. You are the man who requires genuine burning desire. Do not mistake this for a simple dry spell. A dry spell implies that the underlying connection and love are still there. This is vastly different. This is a fundamental shutdown of her entire attraction system. She has withdrawn her physical and emotional presence because she has completely withdrawn her respect. A woman gives her body and her heart to a man she deeply admires. When the admiration dies, the doors close permanently. The gates are heavily locked. You cannot negotiate your way back into her heart. You cannot talk her into feeling raw desire. You must see this freezing distance for what it clearly is. It is a glaring, unavoidable sign that she no longer views you as her strong, capable partner. She views you as a temporary placeholder. The fourth sign cuts incredibly deep into your masculine purpose. It is a total, blatant lack of respect for your time and your life goals. A woman who respects you inherently respects your grand mission. A woman who respects you deeply understands that your time is highly valuable. She acts as your peace. She acts as your unwavering support system. But look at what is actively happening now. She interrupts your deep work. She expects you to drop absolutely everything to cater to her minor trivial inconveniences. She is chronically unapologetically late when you have important plans together. She completely dismisses your ambitions as unrealistic, childish, or silly. When you talk about your grand future, her eyes glaze over and she zones out. When you talk about your big dreams, she immediately shoots them down with negativity. She treats your schedule like a completely optional suggestion, and her schedule like an absolute divine mandate. She makes you wait. She makes you sacrifice your hard productivity just for her temporary entertainment. You're not the guy who puts his magnificent life purpose on hold for anyone. You're the man who prioritizes his grand mission above all petty distractions. You are not the guy who lets someone belittle his massive goals. You are the man who builds his glorious empire, regardless of who applauds. When a woman disrespects your time, she blatantly disrespects your life. She is heavily signaling that your very existence is vastly less important than hers. She does not see you as a strong leader building a secure future. She sees you as an obedient assistant waiting for her next set of orders. She does not believe in your raw potential. She does not admire your relentless drive. She actively sabotages your laser focus because she does not respect the man currently holding the steering wheel. If she truly respected you, she would guard your precious time fiercely. She would be your absolute biggest cheerleader. The harsh fact that she diminishes your goals is concrete proof that she has already demoted you in her mind. You are no longer the respected captain of the ship. You are just a forgotten passenger in her daily drama. The fifth and final sign is the absolute devastating nail in the coffin. It is the toxic comparison game. She starts openly talking about other men. She starts highlighting their massive successes. She starts vividly pointing out what they do for their women. She casually mentions her male co-worker, who just got a massive lucrative promotion. She talks endlessly about her friend's husband, who took them on a spectacular luxury vacation. She points out a random guy at the gym who is in absolutely phenomenal shape. She makes entirely sure you hear these specific details. She makes entirely sure these sharp comparisons land right on your deepest insecurities. Why can't you be more driven like him? Did you see what John bought for Sarah? Mark is so ambitious, he is already starting his second successful business. These are not innocent passing observations. These are highly calculated surgical strikes against your core masculinity. These are intentional, brutal displays of profound disrespect. You are not the guy who competes with shadowy ghosts in his own relationship. You are the man who confidently runs his own race. You are not the guy who feels threatened by the presence of other men. You are the man who deeply knows his own intrinsic, unshakable worth. When a woman compares you unfavorably to other men, she is telling you exactly precisely where you stand. You are completely failing to measure up to her standard. She is actively looking at the horizon. She is scanning the environment for a much better option. She is openly verbally communicating her massive disappointment in you as a man. A woman deeply in love and completely full of respect has absolute tunnel vision. She only sees her man. She genuinely believes her man is the absolute best option in any room. When she starts admiring other men out loud, her respect for you is completely morally bankrupt. It is already over. The relationship has already tragically ended in her mind. Her physical body just has not packed its bags to leave yet. You cannot win a toxic comparison game because the game is entirely rigged against you. The exact moment she starts comparing you, have already lost the throne. You see the signs, you feel the coldness, you know the respect is gone, and this is exactly where most men make the most fatal mistake of their entire lives. This is where the panic sets in. This is where the anxiety takes over the steering wheel. You realize she is pulling away. You realize she is looking down on you. So what do? You try to fix it. You try to overcompensate. You try to win her back by becoming the perfect compliant partner. You start doing more chores around the house. You start washing the dishes, hoping she will notice. You start folding the laundry, hoping to earn a smile. You start buying her random gifts, hoping to buy back her affection. You start apologizing for things you did not even do. You start apologizing just for existing in her space. You ask her constantly what is wrong. You ask her constantly how you can make it better. You're trying to negotiate desire. You're trying to logically convince a woman to feel visceral attraction. It does not work. It never works. In fact, it does the exact opposite. It accelerates the end. It pours gasoline on the fire of her disrespect. Why? Because you are fundamentally misunderstanding how female psychology operates. You think you are showing her how much you love her. You think you are proving your devotion. You think you are being a good supportive man. She does not see it that way. She sees a man who is terrified of losing her. She sees a man who has zero internal grounding. She sees a man who is actively bribing her for basic intimacy. She sees a man who lacks so much self-worth that he has to become her servant just to stay in her life. When you scramble to please a woman who treats you poorly, you reward her bad behavior. You validate her contempt. You prove to her that she is right to look down on you because you are actively looking down on yourself. You're not the guy who buys flowers to apologize for her bad mood. You are the man who expects emotional maturity. You're not the guy who does chore play to earn a scrap of physical touch. You are the man who knows his value extends far beyond doing the dishes. You are not the guy who suffocates his partner with needy questions. You are the man who gives her the gift of your absence when she disrespects your presence. Listen to me very carefully. You cannot negotiate genuine desire. You cannot logic a woman into respecting you. You cannot buy her admiration with acts of service when the foundation of respect is already completely destroyed. Every time you say sorry when you are not at fault, you lose a piece of your masculine frame. Every time you try to appease a woman who is acting toxic, you tell her subconscious mind that you are weaker than she is. And remember what we talked about earlier. A woman simply cannot love a man she feels is weaker than her. She cannot desire a man she can easily manipulate with a cold shoulder or a heavy sigh. This mistake is entirely natural. It is a normal human reaction to try and fix something that feels broken. You are a problem solver. You want to fix the relationship. But this is not a broken sink. This is not a flat tire. This is a fundamental shift in her perception of your core identity. You cannot fix her perception by acting like a panicked, insecure boy. You can only change the dynamic by acting like a grounded, self-respecting man. And a self-respecting man does not chase a woman who is actively running away from him. A self-respecting man does not reward disrespect with increased affection. You must stop the bleeding immediately. You must drop the nice guy act. You must stop trying to earn back a position you never should have lost in the first place. The more you chase, the faster she runs. The more you accommodate her disrespect, the deeper her contempt grows. You are digging your own relationship grave and you are using your own bleeding heart as the shovel. Stop digging. So what is the actual solution? The solution is not a magic phrase. The solution is not a grand romantic gesture. The solution is the absolute hardest thing you will ever have to do. You must walk away. You must pack up your remaining dignity and permanently leave the table. You must realize that a relationship without respect is nothing but a cold prison cell. When she shows you she no longer respects you, you must believe her the very first time. Do not wait for a miracle. Do not wait for her to magically wake up and suddenly see your worth. Your worth is never up for debate. Your absolute value is not determined by a woman who rolls her eyes at your very existence. You are not the guy who stays where he is merely tolerated. You are the man who goes where he is deeply celebrated. You are not the guy who clings desperately to the ghost of a dead romance. You are the man who heavily builds a spectacular future on his own terms. You are not the guy who deeply fears being entirely alone. You are the man who truly fears losing his own soul in a highly toxic partnership. You must pull back your energy completely. Stop initiating the empty conversations. Stop asking her what is wrong. Stop trying to bridge the massive emotional gap she intentionally created. Mirror her distance. Match her coldness with absolute, unshakable masculine indifference. If she wants to pull away, let her pull away. Open the door wide for her. Show her that you are completely unfazed by her withdrawal. Show her that your entire universe does not suddenly collapse just because she decides to step out of it. This is not a petty game. This is not a cheap manipulation tactic to win her back. This is the ultimate necessary act of pure self-preservation. This is the exact moment you finally choose yourself. This is the profound moment you realize that your mental peace is infinitely more valuable than a fundamentally broken relationship. It is already over. You must accept it. You must mourn it. And then you must move forward. Rebuild your incredible life. Reconnect with your grand masculine mission. Hit the gym, sharpen your mind, focus entirely on your own phenomenal growth. Become the immovable mountain you are always strictly meant to be. Welcome to Mind Before Skin. We do not chase fading illusions here. We carefully build unbreakable internal foundations. We prioritize the raw strength of our minds over the fleeting superficiality of modern dating. If this message resonated with the harsh truth you already knew, deep down in your gut, I formally invite you to join us. Leave a comment below right now. Share your personal story. Tell me the exact moment you truly realized the respect was permanently gone. Hit the subscribe button to proudly stand with an elite community of men who absolutely refuse to settle for disrespect. Take care of your mind, brothers. The rest will naturally follow.